We're talking with multiple local nonprofits who are in limbo tonight after the Trump administration instituted a pause on federal grants. The issue now goes to the courts, but in the meantime, nonprofits are anxious to find out their fate. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for K2 News at 11. I'm Barry Mangold. Two nonprofits that provide resources for domestic violence survivors tell K2 they are unable to access federal grants that they rely on. The White House saying that this pause is to ensure that each dollar that is spent from the federal government is compliant with Trump's recent executive orders. And K2's Tanvi Verma joins us from our live desk with more on this. And Tanvi, you spoke with the Clackamas Women's Shelter, which is one of those places that cannot access their funds because of this. Tell us first, how many people do they serve?
Yeah, Barry, a lot on the line. The Clackamas Women's Service has over 400 families in its housing program, dozens of people in their emergency shelter program on any given day, and it funds counseling services, legal services, you name it. The concern is that a delay or loss in funding could really hurt the community. The folks over at Clackamas Women's Services have no idea what they're going to do about the several $100,000 in reimbursements they were looking to access this week. It would have covered about 3 months of their work.
We don't have any information. We woke up this morning thinking that we were able to provide services as we would, and we're told almost immediately that we didn't have access to funding to reimburse our expenses. So while I hope that things will get open and the pause will stop, I have no way of knowing that.
The pause now and going forward, if it does go forward, could have tremendous impacts for this place, which takes care of countless families and relies on federal dollars for more than half of its funding.
That could mean we are no longer able to operate a shelter. It could mean we're no longer able to help survivors fleeing for safety or assist them with rent.
One nonprofit could have to close its doors in just a few months should they not receive federal funding.
One of our nonprofits is Safety Compass. They provide direct support and advocacy for youth who've experienced trafficking. They're victims of human trafficking, and they will also be significantly impacted by any pause in funding.
On Monday, we'll hear from the federal court on whether this freeze can hold water. For now, here's what the White House press secretary is able to tell us about the pause.
This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration.
The Office of Management and Budget says in part, in implementing President Trump's executive orders, OMB issued guidance requesting that agencies temporarily pause, to the extent permitted by law, grant, loan, or federal financial assistance programs that are implicated by the president's executive orders. The goal, to act as faithful stewards of taxpayer money, new administrations must review federal programs to ensure that they are being executed in accordance with the law and the new president's policies.
It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars.
On Monday, we expect to hear from the federal court. The battle doesn't necessarily end there. At the live desk, Tanvi Verma, K2 News.
All right, something we'll be watching for sure, Tanvi. Thank you.